Hi guys, Ollie here. Just quickly, I've already received some guitar solos and vocal tracks from some great people out there. Here are some quick samples.
For years I've dabbled in the coldness, but my heart is warm as the dark inside of me. I've hauled the fire within myself. Years I've walked through the coldest winds, still stop blue aside a well side. The frozen tears covered all the mountainsides. I'm following the mistress of night. Through the gates of snow will fly.
If you'd like to be a part of this too, get onto it. So I've had 3 weeks to absorb the reveal of the Time package, and I've had some thoughts. I know a lot of you are excited about Yari finally releasing much of his early work, and yes, I'll definitely give it all a good listen, but it's not something I'm excited for, honestly. Reason being that I've not been a fan since the early days. I didn't start by listening to Encephalum. The first album that really resonated with me was Time. I'm not really into songs about dragons and pirates. I get it. This is Yari's early work. It's a time capsule. So I guess this is very fitting with the time concept. I'm glad he's releasing it, but my excitement for it is not even slightly comparable to my excitement for Time 2. So far, the new mix of the Forest Seasons sounds brilliant. But we all know that YouTube significantly compresses audio, so you can't really get a true impression. I'm particularly looking forward to hearing the latest version of Loneliness, both the standard and acoustic versions. Loneliness is my personal favourite Wintersun song, especially the acoustic version. That song is fucking beautiful. If you haven't heard the bridge section of the instrumental version of the acoustic version, then fucking listen to it. Those melodies, those chord changes, that atmosphere, there is no description I can give that would do it justice. I wonder how I'm going to react when I finally hear all of Time 2. I listen to music mostly when I'm driving. I do a lot of driving. I get fucking teary-eyed when listening to my crappy mixes of The Way of the Fire and Storm. I get teary-eyed listening to the samples from the reveal. If I end up filming my reaction, I may not get teary-eyed, because I'm being filmed, which puts me in a mindset where it's hard to feel how you normally would. But when I listen to that album while driving, I will have to fucking pull over. I want you to understand where I'm coming from here. I discovered Time 1 around the same time as my brother's suicide. Also around this time, I was working at a local hospital during its construction, installing their nurse call system, so for months there, I was doing repetitive work, walking around, crimping hundreds of RJ45s, mounting buttons, and through these days I did 2 things compulsively on my 160GB iPod Classic. I listened to the Drunken Peasants podcast, which beginning in that year, 2014, and a number of years later was absolute gold. Interesting, hilarious, controversial, it really helped perk me up and distract me. The other thing I did was listen to Time 1. Music plays a really interesting, unique role in our lives. Music and my emotions are deeply connected. Recently, I've been listening to the soundtrack from the original Sims game from over 20 years ago. It reminds me of my brother, it reminds me of simpler times, and it helps me process my emotions. I listen to a lot of soundtracks from old games for these reasons. But I don't want to return to the past. I would rather be here in the present and look toward the future. I spent too many years wishing that I could be back with my mum and my brother, but those times are gone. And I can still look back on them fondly without wishing to return. And I can appreciate the life that I have now. That's what deserves my focus. I wrote about this in a song that I wrote sometime last year called Home. I'll link it below. It doesn't sound like Winter Sun at all, but you might enjoy it.
It's gonna take your arms and drag me away from you. It's not a place or time, but a state of mind. Take me home. It's time I'm leaving all behind. Take me home.
More to the point, listening to Time 1 during this painful period of my life was not only a distraction, but it also acted as a backdrop to what I was feeling. It was not a way of concealing the emotions, but rather a way of contextualizing them. This helped me to view my emotions from such an angle that allowed me to also see the light of life that was behind this prominent figure of pain in front of me. Those melodies, those textures, those instruments, those lyrics just painted a picture that I hung up in my mind to help remind me to not get caught up in what I was going through. This is what life can offer. This is what music can offer. So this is what's going on in my head during the lead up to Time 2. This is why I have to emotionally prepare to hear this, and why it overshadows everything else that the package offers. To close this off, here's a couple of predictions. I reckon that Yari's not going to release Time 2 in a physical format individually. He's just going to release the full Time album. There's not going to be a Time 2. We're not getting Time 2. We're getting Time in its complete form. Starting with When Time Fades Away and ending with Silver Leaves. And my side prediction is that Silver Leaves will end in such a way that perfectly syncs up with When Time Fades Away, creating a nice loop that symbolizes the seemingly endless nature of time. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate your viewership, and I would also appreciate it if you musicians out there, I know there are many of you, would join in the project I mentioned earlier. If you think it could do with changes, let me know. Let's do it. This is supposed to be our project, not mine. So check that out. Get recording. Let's do this. Oh, fuck me.